Good morning, everybody. What's going on? Welcome back to Movie Mornings. I am your host, Don Martino, and today we are going to do a rewatch. First time on Movie Mornings. I'm so excited to talk about this one. It's actually my second favorite film of all time. A lot of you guys might not know that. A lot of you might. But we're here today to talk about Jaws, directed by Steven Spielberg, the great Steven Spielberg. How can you just say that name without saying the great before it? It's very hard. But sitting with me to talk about this today, and I'm very excited, is Mr. Jose Espinel. Jose, what's going on, my guy?
Hey, what's up, man? I'm glad to be here. I'm excited to talk about this movie that we just finished watching. It's actually my third time ever watching this movie, and I really enjoyed it. As much as I hate sharks, it was a really good film.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're here with me, dude, because I know you were telling me about you haven't watched this in a long time. So this is a pretty fresh revisit for you. I know it really wasn't. Now, for me, and this is just my perspective, I'm not expecting anybody to have the same opinion on the film that I do. But, you know, for myself, I can honestly say this movie, I've seen it a lot as a kid. My sister used to make me watch it because, much like you, I hated sharks, you know. And my sister used to coerce me into watching this one when I was a kid and hated that she did that. But when I became an adult and gave this another watch, I was like, wow. Do I have an appreciation for this now on a level that I just never had before? And so I'm wondering for you, with a fresh set of eyes, we just now watched this again, and you like haven't seen it for a while. What are your thoughts now on it? I mean, what did you take away from this movie?
Well, I guess first, before anything, I still hate sharks.
Sure.
Don't like the ocean, the beach, nothing to do with the ocean. I think we should just drain the ocean and kill everything off except for fish and whales. um, but no, this movie. I mean, watching it again for the first time in a very long time. For one, I want to give props to John Williams for the score. He's
Okay.
a phenomenal composer. I mean, he's the greatest of all
Down
time.
with that. Down
I
with
mean,
that.
you've got Star Wars, you've got E.T., you've got Jaws, Jurassic Park. I mean, the list just goes on and on. So he's composed the most famous sounds you ever know. You've got obviously the Jaws, dun dun. You've got the Jurassic Park theme song. You've got Star Wars soundtrack. Like Indiana Jones is like the soundtracks that always pop in your mind when you think about movies.
Right.
So hats down to him and Steven Spielberg as well for the directing, like the way he came about doing the movie, the way that he portrayed the sharks in this movie, and the mayor's a dickhead. I'll just say that right now. But it was, I mean, you have all the different kinds of mayors and presidents that you might not necessarily like and do stuff just for the money. And
I'm going to stop you right there really quick. So, really quick, yeah, I know you threw out the line that you threw out, and we're not going to go any deeper into that because I don't want the algorithm to take us out of this. But look, man, this movie's so relevant to today. It's timeless for a reason. There's something very comparable to today. I think you can agree with that. And I think that's why you threw the line out as naturally as you did, because there is something in this movie, and we'll get into it a little bit, that makes this very relatable to today's times. Am I correct on that? And that's probably why you threw out the line you did so naturally, because I mean, it's true. But anyway, I'm going to let you continue with what you were saying.
no, so you're saying yeah, it's relatable because those are the kind of movies that I like the directors put out, are the movies that are relatable. Like like we've mentioned before, Star Wars is a favorite because it's so relatable and it applies so much to the real world nowadays. And
Yes.
That's why those are the kinds of movies that I love so much.
Timeless.
Not necessarily, if they're sci-fi or if they're adventure, action, thriller, horror. Like, it doesn't matter as long as they're related to the real world and you can apply it in the real world. Then I'm gonna like the movie. Which is why I enjoyed this movie so much, and why I enjoy Steven Spielberg's movies and George Lucas's movies so much, is because they are so relatable to the real world.
Right. So, I mean, to back you up a little bit, enjoyed this rewatch. I mean, you think this movie is one that holds up and should be still in the conversation today, is what I'm getting at.
Yes, I mean it's a timeless classic. Everyone and their mom should know this movie and have watched it at least once in their life because I mean it's Steven Spielberg and it's just one of his many timeless classics that he's produced.
Yeah, directed. I mean, like
Directed,
really. Well,
directed.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, like, because he's produced a lot of shit too. That's timeless classics. I mean, like you talk about something like Goonies that he's only a producer on. Richard Donner directed. You know what I mean? It's shit like that. And like, but you go to something like Jaws. There's a stamp or a vibe or whatever you want to call it that Spielberg puts on the film. You can't recapture that anywhere else. You know what I mean? And that was one of my biggest takeaways even watching it today, especially with you, who I respect very much in my own life, who's one of my very good friends, and you know, it's just somebody who you're somebody like I'm not trying to make this the Jose Kiss Ass podcast, but you're somebody who I'm going to hold in my life forever, right? You know, like I
Same.
know
Look, I
that
mean, like,
you're
I know, we're kind of feeling stuff right now because we just finished watching this movie as bros,
right,
and
right.
but no, but like for real though, you're someone also that I'm glad I met and have in my life, and I will hold you forever in
Thank
my
you, man.
life for the
Thank you,
rest of my
sir.
life because we have so much in common and we relate so much with each other, and we can depend on each other so much that I just, you're like my best friend right now. And like, if
Yeah.
I'm having a bad time and I need, that pick me up or whatever, I can always, come to you because you're like my best friend and, I'll
Well,
always have
thank
you
you,
there
dude.
forever.
And it's just the fact that a movie like this has that camaraderie. You know what I mean? That I don't know has been captured since. You know what I mean? Like Spielberg had something to his movies where he just put this camaraderie in there, and in this case, it's very much the male camaraderie, but it's done in such a way to where you don't really like. I think even like a female can understand the male camaraderie in this movie. Would you agree? I mean, because it's so strong, it's so good. My favorite scenes in this movie don't even have to do with the shark, as great as those scenes are.
It's yeah,
It's
it's the scenes with the men coming together and I guess showing their dominance or showing whatever it is.
right.
I mean, women might not like it so much because it's pretty male dominant, but they can at least see it and appreciate and agree with the male camaraderie and dominance that's portrayed in this movie.
It's interesting because I do know a lot of women that do enjoy this film a lot, and I don't know if that's the reason why they might not be able to relate to the
I
male
mean,
camaraderie
they're
aspect of it as much, but they like this movie, you know.
it's also probably because they're older. No,
Hmm.
obviously because they're older than the generation nowadays that
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah,
like it as much and would take more offense into that than women, back in the day.
yeah, yeah. It's just hard not to fall in love with these three leads, though. I mean, let's talk about first of all one of the things that makes this movie, and I'm going to be real with you. Roy Scheider is a phenomenal lead as Chief Brody. He does so good as Chief Brody, and like honestly, like there's something to the way he plays the character, and it's from the moment in the beginning when he's talking to his wife, and you know she's like I think in what is it?
She's played by the great Lorraine Gray, by the way.
That's right, Lorraine Gray. Thank you, and she's very good in this movie too. I don't want to take anything away from her. She really is, and like you buy her as his wife, you understand why these two are in love. They just have good chemistry together, but you know, and one of the things though that makes that Chief Brody character so good is even just from the beginning, and it's the chemistry between him and the wife. You know, in Yormady they say it's the yard, you know, and he's like they're in the yard by the car. You know that line. You
That
like
new
him
that
immediately.
that New York accent, and
Immediately he's likable.
and it,
Immediately, it takes no time at all.
yeah, for
Right? I
honestly,
mean,
like yeah, he was one of my favorite characters in this movie. Obviously, you know who my favorite was. I think he was yours too.
oh
But
yes, we'll get to him.
yeah, no,
Yeah,
he definitely like immediately just clicked with me. I was like, yeah, he's like one of my favorite characters. I'm gonna really relate to him and like him a lot in this movie. I mean,
yeah,
I did relate to him a lot, especially in the beginning because he never went into the ocean. He did not like going into the water and going on boats and shit like that, which I obviously don't like going into the ocean at a beach because fuck the sharks and all that. um
Well,
So immediately I
yeah.
related to him, and he really clicked with me in this movie. So
Well, let's talk about really quick here. Really honestly, because before we get to who I think was our favorite in this film,
no, who you
let's
know our
talk
favorite
about
was.
right. Let's talk about Quint because Quint is a very good character and he adds a lot to this movie as well. And I feel like somebody said to Spielberg, you need his entrance to be as epic as like and distracting as like nails on a chalkboard. And
which
Spielberg
which was
probably went,
which was
yeah, I
I mean
I take that challenge.
he did the quite literal nails
Yeah,
on the chalkboard entrance. Like he literally
and
on the
it's
chalkboard.
great. It's
Oh, phenomenal.
great. It still
Phenomenal.
holds up. And honestly, guys, if you guys haven't seen Jaws, just so you know, we're talking about this very openly, spoiler depth or whatever you want to call it.
Look,
It's
if you haven't seen Jaws by this moment, either you live under a rock or you're too young.
yeah,
One of
and
those two.
and
Because
stop this video, go back and watch it now, and then
come
come
back to
back to it.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just feel like this movie is just so worth celebrating, you know what I mean? Because it is just that good as that. Um, Honestly, my second favorite movie of all time. I really almost put it up there with Empire Strikes Back. Just Empire Strikes Back just has an extra oomph for me. That is my
See,
favorite of all time.
that's not so much for me. I mean,
Yeah,
the Empire Strikes Back is just such a it's my childhood. It's Star Wars, and I just hold it to
I
such a
agree. I
high
mean, it goes. Don't get me
standard.
wrong.
And
Empire goes the extra mile, but I'm trying to think of stuff that's comparable. I mean, and I not that like even New Hope is comparable to this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, New Hope is up there, but this movie, for some reason, for something that's about a shark at the end of the day, at the core of it.
well, two, but
Yeah, I mean, sure, but it's like it's a movie called Jaws, which is like it's titled after the shark. What Spielberg does that's so smart he makes sure makes sure that the
there you go.
characters are just as strong and just as presence. I keep
Presents
pluraling everything.
present.
He makes sure the characters are just as strong and just as present in the
There you go.
picture. Thank you, Jose. But he makes sure they're just as strong and present. You know what I mean? And he almost
Right.
puts the characters first. Like you even look at Quint, he's given the backstory, at when they're all doing that, which is my favorite sequence, is just all of them drinking on the boat. It's my favorite stuff in the movie is
Of course,
watching these people together.
asserting male dominance and comparing scars, of
Yeah,
course, and all that. Which again is just that male dominance. Like, oh, you have this, but I have this. Oh, you have that, but I have this. It's like they just love comparing. It's like, oh, okay, you might have this scar, but I have this one that's even better. Like it's
absolutely.
yeah, 100%.
Absolutely,
And
man.
honestly, this movie kind of gives me like the Meg with Jason Statham.
Yeah.
It almost gives me those kind of like like it's a newer version of that in a way. I mean, obviously it's nowhere comparable to Jaws, but like
Right.
when I think of Jaws and watch Jaws, it kind of almost reminds me of that movie Meg with Jason Statham, which was an incredible movie. Don't get me wrong, he's an incredible actor and it was a great film. But like watching this movie, it almost gives me like that kind of vibe, just like a newer version of that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, you see where the inspiration comes from, you know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I mean,
I
while
mean,
nothing is,
the
yeah, go
inspiration.
ahead.
I mean, you can even see in the picture that they use for the title of the movie, the one for the Meg almost is identical to the Jaws one. It's got a shark's mouth open, coming towards a bunch of people. When you look at the Jaws picture for the movie, it's literally a shark's mouth coming up to some people. When you look at the Meg's one, it's like this big mouth coming up to a whole beach of people about to eat them all. So it's like you can see the inspiration for the person who directed Meg. It took it from Steven Spielberg,
Yeah,
which is
I'm
always fun to see. It's always fun to see people try and make newer versions of these timeless classics.
right. I mean, right from the beginning, you get this, sort of like I was a little confused at the beginning, though. Let me tell you what I'm confused about in the beginning. You get this woman, right? The two people are drunk and they're gonna go skinny dipping, right? And you get this girl who's this terrible actress. What are we doing, sweetie? Right? But then you get the screams when she's getting eaten by the shark, and
And then
it's
and then she's good.
terrifying. It's
Exactly.
terrifying. It's gut wrenching how good it is.
It's like she's actually being attacked by a shark.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say another movie that was like 10 times better than The Meg, and it's like about a shark too.
Yeah.
Was The Shallows with Blake Lively.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
movie,
Shallows is the best since
dude,
Jaws. I would
dude.
say actually the Shallows is the best since Jaws, shark wise, but it's not as good as Jaws, but it's the best since Jaws.
Obviously,
Jaws, yeah.
it's not better than Jaws, but
Jaws.
it's it's like I hate sharks, but that movie was phenomenal. Blake Lively, she's an incredible actress, and that movie was incredible, man. I really enjoyed myself with that movie, and you're right, it's definitely like the best shark movie since Jaws for sure. Like that movie was incredible.
So I want to do something big for this podcast because Jaws is such a classic. And that thing is to phone people in that I know that are.
I was about to say, I was wondering why you had your phone out.
Yeah, because I want to phone some people in that I know are fans of this.
If they
And
answer,
we're going to start with my aunt, who I know is a
if
massive
they
fan
answer.
of Jaws, and let her know what we're doing here. And yeah, so let's start with her and see what her perspective is on the film. But
I
we're
mean,
gonna.
if I knew people who had watched Jaws, I'd phone them in too. But I have no idea if it.
Hey, hang on. Hey, you're on the air. I hope that's okay. You're on the air.
Oh yeah,
Hi, can you hear that, Jose?
Hello, yeah, I can hear that.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you won't be able to hear Jose, unfortunately, but so we had a question. So we're actually doing a show on Jaws, the original. Um,
I'm sorry. Say that again.
we're doing a show on Jaws, the original.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we were wondering. We're gonna call a bunch of people here today. But we
Okay.
were wondering from an outside perspective, what makes Jaws hold up as much as it does?
What makes it hold off?
Hold up, like what makes it so good? Why does it
Oh,
still
hold
work
off.
even today? Like you watch it today and it's still great.
I do. I watch it every time. I do. I watch it every time it comes on TV.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's exciting. It's even though you know what's going to happen, that music still gets to you.
yeah,
You know that one. It
yeah.
still gets to you.
Right.
Even though you know what's going to happen, but it's just truly a very well made movie. There for a very limited budget.
Yeah,
But it's I think it's I don't know, it's still as suspenseful as the first time almost.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. But I don't know if you know that they had a very hard time with the mechanical shark.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
yes. I watched that in
oh
the
wow.
documentary, but go ahead.
Yeah, in the water they couldn't keep the shark would always just not work. So that's how it became with just the music.
Right.
Because they're like they have to somehow get the suspense there, and the shark's not working, and they went over their time to get this movie done. So
Okay.
what he ended up doing was just saying, you know what, let's try with the music, and that's what made it even more
That's right.
suspenseful than just actually seeing the shark.
That's right. Yes, I did. I watched the documentary. I remember all that. That's right.
Yeah. It was such a good movie.
It really is.
I mean, and the characters themselves, I mean, God, you can't go wrong with those guys.
That's what we were just mentioning is that camaraderie between the three of them. It just for some reason it's something they just don't capture anymore.
Exactly. Even though Richard Dreyfuss and who played Quint?
Oh
yes, yeah. We can't think of his name either.
Oh,
so if
fuck.
somebody can find that'd be great.
Who the heck played Quint? But anyway, they did not get along at all.
Right.
Oh wow.
Right. Yes, I remember hearing that too. Mm-hmm.
But in the movie, they
Robert Shaw.
Robert Shaw.
That just shows what great actors they were. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that just shows what great actors they were.
Absolutely, I agree.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And plus, he was drunk all the time.
Yeah. And it shows. It shows. Yeah.
But I mean, there's so many. Even throughout those favorite parts. One of my favorite parts with the very beginning of the movie when the first chick gets killed and by the shark.
Right. Yeah.
I mean that being dragged like that in the water is just like holy crap.
We were just talking about that. Yeah.
And then the other part was of course them on the boat is the little funny parts in it.
Yeah.
Were hysterical. Like when Quint is drinking a beer and he smashes his can, and then the other guy was drinking, I don't think it was coffee or something, and he smashes his styrofoam cup.
Right. Yeah.
Stuff like that is just classic. It's a classic.
Yeah, we just watched it together, so we were, we were laughing at that too, and yeah, it's just those little, it's the little moments almost that make the movie. It's not the big scale moments with the. We were saying it's the moments with the guys that we like the most. It's not the shark necessarily, as good as that is.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, how many times do you see the shark?
Barely.
The whole movie, maybe
Barely.
3 times.
That's true. That's very true.
Never seen one.
So I mean, it's really not the sharks that made the movie. What made the movie were the characters and the music.
Exactly, I agree. And we were talking about John Williams, who did the music, and just how many iconic scores he did. I think we were saying we think it's this score, the music for Jaws and the music for Star Wars, that is just the most iconic. You hear those two, you know what they are, and both done by John Williams. You and Indiana Jones right up there as well. I mean, you just hear those three actually, and you know what they are. Anybody would, and it's just it's pretty cool that he.
The other one that you hear the music with is, and you know exactly what it is E.T.
Which is also John Williams, right? You're right,
exactly,
and that's also John Williams. So, it is true. The music does, play a big part. It's almost like a character within the movie itself. So, I agree with that.
Exactly. So, I mean, each time you watch it, even though you've seen it, it's still such a good movie.
Yeah, 100%. So, yeah. Well, listen, we have other people to call, but we appreciate you giving your perspective on it, and thank you so much. And watch out for the show; you'll hear yourself on it. So we appreciate it.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Yep. See you later. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye. So that was my aunt. Very cool for her to answer and give her perspective, and I agree with all those points. It's pretty cool to get.
Like she said stuff that I would have never thought to have said here, obviously because she has seen it more times than me. I would assume.
It's
and it was she was she hit the nail on the coffin, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the right expression, but no, 100%. Everything she said I agree with. It was
absolutely. It is that it is the characters, and I think that's a lot of what she was hitting. The characters in the movie are what makes it. It's not everything else. It's not the shark. Now, I mean, speaking of the moments with the shark, though, like if we're gonna get into it, the shark adds perspective. It adds not perspective so much, but a little bit of perspective, but suspense. The way Spielberg builds suspense, I don't think I've seen. From the moment that he quit making great movies to A Quiet Place, I think Krasinski's finally managed to hit the type of suspense that Spielberg was able to with Quiet Place movies.
Yeah.
But outside of that, like Spielberg just mastered it at the very beginning and just, really just kind of kept that through almost his whole career, and that's very cool. It is partially the suspense. So, I mean, anyway, but let's talk. Go ahead.
Talk about what? Go ahead. No, I was going to say
go ahead.
I was talking in my film class. She was like, "So what in your opinion makes a movie great? What really needs to be captured in a movie?" And I was thinking about this was when we watched A Quiet Place 1 and 2, like that week, that weekend, I guess it was when we watched A Quiet Place 1 and 2, and it was Tuesday when I had film class. And I was thinking about the movies like, well, I mean, silence in a movie really makes the movie when it's really what makes the movie great is like not only the sound that's put in the movie, but also the silence, because people might not see it, but silence can really like get you hooked into a movie and really see from the director's eye why he put the silence in the part that he put it in a movie. Like for example, John Krasinski, the way that
Yeah.
he incorporated the silence in the movie because his daughter was deaf and she actually couldn't hear anything. It was cool to be in her shoes and see from her view that
Yeah.
she couldn't hear anything. So it's like you were also deaf with her, which really just like he honestly never thought John Krasinski, the guy from The Office, could ever actually direct a movie as great as that. And you definitely changed, my view on that.
Oh, good. I mean, thank you, man, because I know you watched those together recently as well. Yeah, man, but for sure, and it's true. I mean, and I shouldn't have even been the one to change your view on that, because you look back
Because
at
that's the thing is, I would have never, I would have never actually watched the film if it wasn't for you. Like I never had plans of watching any of those movies beforehand.
I understand that, but you look even back at a movie like Empire, when Vader ignites that saber and Empire Strikes Back, and then Luke ignites the saber, what makes you hyped for that? It's not the fact that there's about to be a lightsaber scene. It's the suspense building to it, and it's in silence. I was gonna say,
but that's the thing is also it's not complete silence because you hear the lightsabers come out.
But that's it.
Really
that's
no,
it.
But I was about to say but that's not silence though because you can hear the sabers.
True, really, but the fact that there's no score behind it, I think, is what makes it work because you suspense building to it.
It's not complete silence, but it's really the sabers coming out that really like gets you excited for what's about to happen.
Oh, next. True. I mean, I'll give you that too. The imagery of that is great, but like the other thing that makes it work for me is the fact that and this goes back to John Williams' credit, the fact that he knew not to score that moment. The fact that he was like, I'm not going to make a score for that moment.
I mean,
because
I was gonna say even
it works better. It plays better.
Honestly, like even that's like I like what even if it's not complete silence, even when like a director can tell like when to put a score and when to not put a score is really like impressive and
absolutely. I mean,
you can tell how talented they are when they do.
It's not an Empire review because there are moments like that here, but like you think about Empire Strikes Back, even if you put something as epic as Duel of the Fates behind the Luke and Vader moment there in Empire, it still wouldn't play as well. Exactly. It's the fact that you don't have a score there. Yes, so silent moments are great. Even if they're subtly silent, like because you do still hear the sabers and it's cool, but it's great. You're right, and one of the moments here that I would say too in Jaws does not have a score. Roy Scheider, you go from this very comedic line to wait till he chomps on some of this shit, and then that shark pops out, but there's no score behind it, and even you were like, oh shit, rewatching it today, in that part because. It gets you every time, as my aunt was saying a little bit. This movie just manages to get you every time. It doesn't matter when you're watching it. It's because of where the music is, where the music's not. It's paced so well. That's another thing about this movie. It moves great. Like, you say what you will. This movie moves great. Like, the pacing is perfect. Like, it really does. It's paced where it needs to be paced.
I was hooked the entire time. Get it hooked.
Right. Right.
But no, this movie had me hooked from the beginning. Like the pacing, there's no pacing issues in this movie whatsoever, which just speaks, highly of Steven Spielberg and the way he directed this film. Is just it's incredible work.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Absolutely. And
I was actually gonna say I actually have a friend too who would like to give his opinions on the movie too.
Absolutely, that's perfectly fine. If you want to give him a call and he can, yeah, absolutely. Let's get him on.
Alrighty. Let me just
yeah, and he'll call his friend here in a minute. Let me ask you a question really quick too, or let me mention this before you call him.
Okay.
Richard Dreyfuss though, because we have to talk about Richard Dreyfuss. I think is our favorite character in the movie. And I was looking this up earlier. The movie, while it did get nominated for Best Picture, and rightfully so in the year it came out, Richard Dreyfuss did not get nominated for this movie. That's a crime.
He should.
That's a crime.
Like he should have, because honestly, he's both of our favorite. Like he was our favorite
Yeah.
character in this movie. For
As
sure.
Matt
I mean,
Hooper, man, he's great.
And honestly, like all the films that you showed me with him in them, he's been phenomenal. He's an incredible actor. He can be funny. He can be serious. He can do it all.
Look at the moment when he's looking at the dead body, right? That's not an actor. When the moment when he's looking at the dead body.
Oh, you're talking about when he gets scared and drops the shark tooth?
Before that, even when he's in the fucking.
You mean the morgue when he's looking at the body
morgue
from the shark? Yeah.
Right. That's not an actor pretending he's looking at a body. That's a guy looking at a body. Like that reaction was so good. It was so good.
That's any person looking at a dead body.
Yeah, it just you believed it, and he is just that damn good in the movie. But yeah, give somebody a call here, and if
Alrighty.
you want to, because if they're able to give a perspective, because I would love to hear from them. And yeah, so this is going to be fun. Who are we calling, by the way, just so the viewers know?
His name is Jacob Landry. He's one of my friends from high school.
Awesome. All right, here we go.
Hey, Jacob. Hey, so you are right now on air here on our channel. He won't be able to hear you, but yeah, just give us your thoughts on the original Jaws, because we just finished watching that right now, so we're doing an episode on that right now.
Do you like it?
Oh, dude, it was phenomenal. I completely enjoyed it. Like the actor is incredible, the score, John Williams obviously is incredible, and yeah, I just had a great time with it. So,
I mean, I thought it was a good movie too. Like from like a actual scientific standpoint, like it wasn't really realistic, but I mean, it was still a good movie.
Sure.
But like, how many movies are realistic these days? But like that was a while ago, but yeah, it was a good movie. I don't know. I mean, I thought it was a bit much at the end, but yeah. The scuba tank.
Oh, the scuba tank. Yeah.
Like, really good. You telling me you can hit that? Just shoot the shark. Like,
I guess his struggle was trying to shoot it in the mouth. You know, it was like hitting the tank the whole time, so it was really hard to get it.
Don't tell me you're gonna be able to use the scuba tank on a moving boat. Like, I'm not dissing the movie. It was a good movie. Well, so like sharks don't do that. Don't just like go around murking people, you know.
Yeah, fair enough. What do you think about, like, we were talking about a specific scene with Quint, and it was the three guys when they're in the boat talking about like their scars and stuff, like the camaraderie there. What do you think about that?
Oh, dude, I'm be honest. I don't remember that scene. I told you I watched it a while ago.
Fair enough. Alrighty, well, yeah. Thank you, man.
No problem.
Alrighty. See ya.
Well, you know, something that he brought up that I do want to bring up, and it's something I respect about this movie even more, is yes, the shark unrealistically, you know, and they allude to it though. I think why it works is that the shark is unrealistic. The main shark they're going after, right? There's an unrealistic.
Oh, you're talking about the one that eats Quint.
Yeah, and there's an unrealistic aspect of the shark, and that's 100% true. But what I like about this movie that the sequel's kind of lost, in my opinion, when people tried to do the sequels, obviously not Spielberg, but you know, they tried to make a franchise out of this. The sequels try to demystify the fact that this shark is something more than just a shark. When this movie kind of keeps it in mystery. You know what I'm saying? This movie alludes to it, but it doesn't like just make it obvious. You know what I mean? That the shark is something more. And I like that it's just implied in this film. So I'm kind of glad that was brought up, that point, because it's something I love about the movie, for sure. We're going to try to call a friend of the show. A friend of the show. I don't think you've talked to this individual yet, but we're going to try to get a hold of him anyway. And that is my friend Mark Earhart. He's a friend of the show. He's been on many times. I know he's a big fan of Jaws, so we're gonna try to get a hold of him.
Yeah, I never talked to him specifically, but yeah, it'd be cool to hear from him.
Let's see if he picks up. He might not. He might be asleep. We'll see.
I was gonna say that's the thing, is trying to get people to answer at this time.
Hey, you're on the air. So we're doing a show on Jaws, and we're trying to call as many people as possible to try to get some outside perspective. All right, so our question to you is, what do you think it is that makes Jaws hold up until this day?
What does it hold up until? How does it hold up till now?
Yeah, why do you think Jaws? What makes Jaws so great? Is basically the question.
Well, it's a story that can basically, be as much today as it was back then.
Yeah.
The ocean, sharks exist. People are scared of sharks back then. They're still scared of sharks today. A shark attack could happen to anyone.
Yeah.
It's just it's relatable forever.
Yeah.
As long as there's going to be oceans and sharks, and the way it was filmed back then and the grittiness of it just holds up as just a classic, timeless tale. The acting was so brilliant.
I agree.
100%.
Robert Shaw's performance of his career.
There you go, Quint.
Just unreal. Roy Scheider as well.
Yep.
I mean, those guys, they brought the A game and just, knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, man, we were just talking about how great they were. I mean, I think the best scenes in the movie are between them and not so much. I mean, the shark stuff is great too, but I think between the characters is what makes it great.
Yeah, the characters are so alive. They pop out off the screen. The performances and the dialogue, what they have to actually say, the writing of the script was just unreal.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it just bleeds classic.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time when it was released, number one movie, blockbusters didn't exist until Jaws showed up.
True.
And then, all of a sudden, now here's a new thing. And
yeah,
I think, people can watch it today and enjoy it as much as they did. And people are going to rewatch it every year.
It's a good point you bring up. I mean, I think the phrase blockbuster wasn't coined until Jaws, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah.
Jaws was the first blockbuster.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. That's a good point you bring up there. Yeah, I'm going to be very honest. You sound like you're at a party that you can't wait to get back to. So I'm going to let you go. But
I was actually just finished watching Halloween Kills again.
Oh, nice.
The theatrical cut.
The theatrical or the extended? Because I haven't seen the extended yet, but I bought it.
Yeah, I just finished watching the extended cut.
Okay.
Which I've not watched that before until tonight. And
how is it?
It really takes some of the gory scenes and really doesn't leave much to the imagination. So it's pretty interesting. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think you'll like it.
I can't wait to put it on, dude.
Yeah. Noticeable differences. So
awesome. That's good to know.
Well, good deal.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it. Appreciate your time. Thank you. All right. Later, man. Take it easy. All right, bye. All right, that was Mark Gearhart, friend of the show.
Did not know that was the first blockbuster.
That's true. Yeah, see, I'm glad he brought that up because that is the film that coined the phrase blockbuster was Jaws, and so that's something to note here too. Is also what makes it so iconic. So, thank you to Mark for his time.
I was gonna say because I remember that I remember when I was in Texas when I used to live there. We had the store Blockbuster.
Yeah.
And they had all the movies like Jaws, Jurassic Park, E.T., the original Star Wars. Like they had all those movies there because those were all blockbuster hits, and you were able to rent them from there and then return them obviously after a couple of days of having them. It was incredible. It was an incredible thing that Jaws coined, and I'm glad that they did that because we wouldn't be able back then we wouldn't have been able to rent all these blockbuster hits if it wasn't for Jaws.
Yeah. Calling another friend of the show too. And then, yeah, absolutely. But calling another friend of the show too is Josh Richards, who I know likes this movie a lot, and we'll see if he picks up here. Hey, we're 3 for 3 so far with people answering the phone, so let's hope that this is continues that trend. So, and we lost Jose. Jose just left the state or something. So I don't know where Jose went. He just froze up out of nowhere. So we're gonna get him back here in a minute. Let's see where Jose went. He's got his finger on his nose. That's a wonderful image for everybody. um, yeah. So we'll see. Yeah. Let me see here. Josh just informed me he's working. I'm gonna see if he can. Let's see. Take a 5-minute call here. Jose's gone. Jose's off the map.
Hey, no, sorry. Hey, no, I'm back.
All right. So yeah.
So who were you calling? Sorry. I mean, I you said I'm calling so and so. I didn't hear who you were after that.
So we're gonna call another friend of the show here. Josh Richards. We're gonna call Josh
Hey.
Richards, another friend of the show. We know very well.
The one we did. I was gonna say the one we did the Halloween Kills.
He just
spoiler
informed
review
me.
with.
He just informed me he's at work, but he could take a 5-minute call. So
Okay.
that's good. So we'll keep him for. We'll be respectful of his time, but we will call him really quick. So yeah. So here we go. We're gonna call Josh. So here we go. He's at his day job, but we'll be respectful of his time.
Yo, what up?
Hey, you're on the air. We had a question for you. So we're doing a show on Jaws, and we were just calling a bunch of people to get some outside perspective, and we were wondering, what is it to you that makes Jaws hold up as well as it does?
Oh, it's just the. I guess it's the less is more thing about it, because you don't. I'm kind of like
He's breaking up.
Yep.
Go ahead. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead again. Sorry, you broke up for a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah. So it's the less is more mentality behind it.
Like
Jaws wouldn't have been that great if it was originally what it was supposed to be, where the shark pops up every 5 minutes, but you get the haunting tune. You know, and that song will always hold up, where the animatronic won't. So the few minutes you get the animatronic, it just works as you finally get that big payoff at the end.
Right.
So I think it just works because the music will never change. It just holds up throughout time because, I mean, it's a natural fear. Everyone's afraid to run into a shark. So it just hits us all on a human level.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people bringing up the score that we've called tonight for sure. And, one of the points that I think everybody's brought up too is, I'll ask you this really quick, and we're trying to be respectful of your time because we understand you're at your day job, so we appreciate it. So another thing we'll ask you too, because one of the things that we think and everybody else's thought is the characters have somehow just helped it hold up too. It's the moments mostly with the characters and not the shark that I think makes it work so well. But I don't know if you agree with that or not. But we'll get your perspective.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. There's a very human factor behind it all.
Absolutely.
Small performances, lightning in a bottle. You get a lot of improv. You get a lot of on-set stories that just add more to the characters.
Absolutely.
I think everyone has one iconic, huge moment. And it's kind of almost like Ghostbusters in a way. Everyone has that one line that we all know. One character everyone's leaning on. It's a whole team of people.
That's so true, man. That's so true. You're 100% correct on that, man. Yeah, Ghostbusters is a very good comparison. It's the male camaraderie that I just don't think has been captured since, almost. You know what I mean? Since those movies from the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it's so true. Yeah. Well, we were saying too. Yeah, go ahead.
So memorable.
Well, we were saying too.
This one of those things. There's so many memorable moments.
Absolutely, the sequels. This movie implies that the shark is almost more than just a shark, where the sequels they demystify that, and that's a big problem with them.
Yeah, it was lightning in a bottle. You just couldn't recreate it.
Absolutely, man. Well, look, dude, I appreciate the fact that you're at your day job, but I appreciate your time as well. We got more people to call, but thank you so much for your time, and we'll have to get you back on here, man. Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you, dude.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Yep. Later. Bye.
Yep. Later.
And that was Josh Richards, everybody. And so thank you so much to Josh for his time. And dude, we're 4 for 4 on people answering. Apparently, we got to call people now from after 10 o'clock or whatever, But yeah,
Yeah, I just know that, that's the thing is that most of my friends, they are always up until like
yeah,
1 a.m. So like I can always, you know,
yeah.
know that my friends are up. So yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that everybody's just brought up some great points. I mean, even Josh, with the sequels, it was a point I was bringing up earlier. He's so right about that. The sequels, they just demystify, that aspect of the sharks, and the sequels lost the camaraderie too that this film had, and like there's it is hard to recapture. Yeah, for sure. Lightning in a bottle. Josh hit the nail on the head with that. It is lightning in a bottle. You capture that only once, right? You just don't
I mean,
capture
yeah.
that again. Yeah, and it's like I even look at the scene with like a shooting star, right? Because we were looking at that, and
Oh, yeah, I pointed that. I was like, oh shoot, look, it's a
this
shooting star.
movie does not have the money to use CGI for a shooting star. Right? So that had to happen in the moment. And so the fact that that even happened had to be a sign to Spielberg, I would hope, that this movie was meant to be. Like this is something that I was meant to do. And it's incredible. It really is. So I have one more phone call we're gonna make here, and then we'll kind of talk about the movie amongst
I was gonna say,
ourselves.
I've got one other friend that I know for sure has seen this movie that I think we could get a pretty good opinion on.
All right. Well, hey, go ahead and call him really quick, and I'll call my guy.
Well, I'm asking, well, you can phone yours and because I'm asking
Okay,
him right now if
fair enough.
he, if he wants to, if he's fine with being, live on the air.
You're nicer
answering
than
that
me
question.
because I'm just calling people and asking. So
I am, but yeah, because I want to be respectful of, because some people might not want to be, live on air talking. So
yeah, fair enough.
just asking some friends.
So this is my cousin Carl if he answers.
Carl,
So let's see what happens.
your phone ring is really weird.
Let's see here. See what happens.
Why is your ring like that?
I don't know. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying it's kind of weird, but I like it.
No luck with my cousin Carl. So we'll keep talking about the movie. So anyway, so something else that I wanted to point out here too is we kind of got into this earlier, but the timeless aspect of it is the fact that the shark attacks right on the beach, and the whole thing
Right.
immediately becomes politicized, and that's just such reality, if you ask me. You know what I mean? And that's something that just works for this movie so fucking well, is the reality. The reality of, as much as your friend said, this movie takes place in the parameters, outside the parameters of reality. You look at
Yeah.
the political aspect of it, that's reality. That's 100% reality. And
True.
and like you can't deny that. And there's something to that just hooks you in immediately. You know what I mean?
True.
And talking about, because our first two guys that we're seeing here are Richard Dreyfuss, right, and
Right.
Roy Scheider,
Right.
and I like the way they built that. They built that very well to where you understand. And the nice thing that Richard Dreyfuss's character adds, as per the script, is it helps you learn about sharks in general, right? It gives you
I get.
information
Yeah. I was
about
gonna say.
sharks
I guess in a
in
way, yeah.
reality. In
At least.
reality,
At least how at least how they perceived them back then
yeah,
versus now. Yeah.
yeah. And I know the moment you loved a tiger shark. A what? I know you love that
What?
moment. That kid. Pete Davidson did an actual bit on that. I'm gonna try to see if we can pull that up really quick because that was actually really good. Let's see, because Pete Davidson did a really good bit on that. Let's see if we can get that up here. All right. Gosh, let's see what we can do. Pete Davidson Jaws. All right, let's see if this pulls up here. It should. So, all right. So we're gonna go over to here, this screen here. Let's see what we can do. All right, so we're gonna pull up this Pete Davidson Jaws bit here because I want Jose to see this. Let's see. I think this is it. Yeah.
A what?
Gather round, children.
Oh, let's mute that for a second. And I'm gonna.
Oh, by the way,
go here.
my friend that I thought would have seen the original Jaws movie hasn't seen it, but he did say that that if we wanted a real mindfuck, to watch a movie called The Lighthouse.
Oh, I love The Lighthouse, dude. I love The Lighthouse. Lighthouse is the shit. Robert Eggers, dude, directing that shit. I love The Lighthouse, dude.
Yeah, apparently he
Willem
told me it's like a
Dafoe,
mindfuck.
Robert Pattinson. Oh, it certainly fucking is. I love The Lighthouse. Anyway, here we go. So let's see. Pete Davidson.
Jaws because it was made in the 70s, so when you watch it, it looks like a movie. I like the way that they talked. Come on.
Oh my god, is that not the truest shit ever? So good, because I remember even watching it today, you were pointing that shit out, you know, about that line.
That shit was hilarious. Man.
It's so funny. A what?
Richard Dreyfuss is like, oh, it's a tiger shark. That dude's like, a what?
Going in too, man.
I think of all the scenes in the movie, that was probably comedic wise my favorite. He was like, a what?
It's great. It really does. It feels out of place in almost the best way. You know, let's talk about too. I mean, you know, just because I mean, basically, we had this premise where you know, you got this guy, the Sheriff Brody, and immediately in the movie, dude, you feel the pressure, right? You feel the pressure that he's under because that guy cannot walk 2 inches out his door without somebody coming up to him to talk to him about a problem in that town. It's so true. Like, he walks 2 inches out of the fucking door. Somebody talks to him about a problem in that town. You know, somebody comes up to complain to Sheriff Brody. So you feel the pressure right off the bat. And that's like part of what makes the movie so great. That pressure right off the bat. And then you continue. Finally, he's on that beach, right? And this made me laugh really hard because he's on the beach and everybody's coming up to him on the beach. It just never stops for old Sheriff Brody. Everybody's coming up to him on the beach, talking to him about their problems. And he finally gets a moment to relax. And his wife.
On the beach, right?
His wife.
With his wife, right? Yep.
Why are you going in the water? I was like, this poor bastard.
And then Quint. And then Quint just starts singing.
Oh, that scene was great with Quint. Yeah.
She was like, he's like, why do you have to go on the boat? He's like, what am I going to tell the kids? Oh, just tell them I'm going fishing.
Just tell them I'm going fishing. Oh, you know this. Quint
starts singing, and then
farewell, go, my Spanish ladies.
He's like, there's a lady named, was it Maria?
The lady named something, and
it rhymed with 3. I can't remember what her name was.
3 and then virginity and vicinity. I remember that.
She lived 203.
Yeah.
She kept her virginity.
Yeah.
That's so great in this vicinity.
Right. That stuff was awesome. And you're right. You're 100% right. And I love what he started to sing. My favorite part is with Quint and Richard Dreyfuss when
I really like the part 2 where he was saying, hey, try some of this. He was talking to the officer. He's like, here's, have some of this. And then he cheers. He's like, to what? To sailing with...
sailing with bow-legged women. Yeah, that was it.
And then let's be honest, we took shots.
Oh, absolutely. It was like hilarious. It was so good. It's just so good. Yeah, Robert Shaw just is great as Quint, and he's
like them three just make the movie.
They do.
Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, and I forget the actor who plays the officer. I forget his name.
Oh yeah. Roy Scheider.
Yeah. Them 3 just make the movie, man. They're
so good together.
Their chemistry, 3 of them together is just incredible, man.
Absolutely. Honestly. And you know the thing about Dreyfuss is because we go back to when Quint's singing to him. I think like what Richard Dreyfuss found the key to acting, which is reacting. You know, like. It's true. Like the reactions is what makes Richard Dreyfuss' acting so well. It's
the
so
reactions,
good,
like his facial expressions in this film, are just what makes him. And it's what puts the comedic relief into such a stressful and I guess in a sense devastating movie as this is with sharks and eating people. He just brings that comedic effect into this movie, not only with what he says, but also with his facial expressions, which is what I just love so much about Richard Dreyfuss.
Well, it's like we said, because you got right off the bat, man. I mean, you got Roy Scheider, who we feel for, and we got this. Now we got our movie. We got our main character. And not only that, I mean, Spielberg, like my aunt was saying, that opening is so effective because Spielberg kind of carried that through the rest of his career, where he puts the opening before the opening. It's like before he does that every time, and he's so good at it. He's so good at making those. Even the stuff he's produced, there seems to be always that opening before the opening, even if he didn't direct it. But it's just like something he wants to put as a stamp on everything he's a part of. So you had the opening with the girl and her drunk boyfriend or whatever, and it's such a horror movie type opening, but it's so good, it works so well. And then you have Roy Scheider, who you feel for, because everybody in this town has to go vet to this guy. He walks out his door, everybody in the town's got to go talk to Sheriff Brody, Chief Brody, Roy Scheider, right? And then so you got this character you feel for, and then you get this whole other side of it with Richard Dreyfuss. The second he steps on. And I love when he's just looking at that guy that's about 1,000 times taller than he is when Richard Dreyfuss steps on that boat. It's great imagery, immediate comic relief. The king has arrived. That's what I feel like when Richard Dreyfuss steps on the screen.
Literally, like he was the king of this movie, and he was our favorite character in this film.
He just adds a whole new life to it. The second he gets there,
and that's really just I feel like with any movie that he's in, he just brings that difference, that special role to he can portray any character, and he just brings it to every single film. He's that difference that makes every film. I'm guessing every film that he's in. I mean, the ones that I've seen so far, he just brings that difference to the films.
Yeah,
I mean, I feel like we're just kissing his ass, but I mean,
he is the king, man. He's one of those guys, man. You can't deny his star power. It's like him and Harrison Ford have a similar charisma, because they just both bring to life.
It's a crime that he just hasn't won any awards, man. It's a crime.
Absolutely, and I'm glad. A lot like how Spielberg recommended John Williams to Lucas. Lucas recommended Dreyfuss to Spielberg. Because Lucas had worked with Dreyfuss prior to Spielberg on American Graffiti. That's correct, yeah. So because Richard Dreyfuss is the lead in American Graffiti, so very similar thing there.
That just shows how close Spielberg and Lucas are. They're like they refer the best to each other. Like Spielberg referred the best composer of all time to George Lucas, and George Lucas referred one of the best actors of all time to Steven Spielberg.
True, and you look at both this and A New Hope. I mean, it has a similar technique to the fact of the way it builds suspense. First of all, the way it builds into the way it develops his characters, and and
you can tell in the score too that like John Williams just knows how to compose a soundtrack for whatever movie he's in, and he just knows how to do it perfectly. He's got that special that difference,
secret sauce.
Exactly, the secret as Poe's father said in Kung Fu Panda, the secret ingredient to the secret ingredient soup.
I mean, seriously, I mean, if Lucas and Spielberg give us the meat on the Big Mac, John Williams brings the Mac sauce. You know what I mean? The secret sauce that just it tops it all off. You know what I mean? It's so true. And
you mean the sauce that doesn't exist anymore?
It's true, man. It doesn't exist, and it's unfortunate.
Like the Mac sauce was a thing, but it's not anymore. Like it was like a limited edition thing in Burger King. They had like this sauce that was like so good that it was like only a limited edition thing that they just like discontinued for some reason.
I don't know about Burger King, but I ask for Mac sauce and everything when I go to McDonald's. But anyway,
I think they both like I know McDonald's had a sauce too that like was so good that they only had for like a limited time. And
that was Szechuan. That's a different thing. But either way, whatever it is, I mean, John Williams adds it to the movies, and he's the cherry on top. You know what I mean? He just
the cherry
does
on top of that sundae that you get.
Yeah, it's true, and it's it does go to show because like you going back to that, they use similar technique, Spielberg and Lucas, to the fact, to the point where it's almost like they have this technique about don't show all of your cards all at once. You know what I mean?
Right,
because
like just stretch it out throughout the whole film,
make it work. Yeah, because like you look at like I was comparing earlier Richard Dreyfuss to Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford brought a whole new life to Star Wars. Lucas made sure we're not going to introduce Han Solo until midway through the movie. And Spielberg, same thing. We're not going to introduce Matt Hooper, Richard Dreyfuss, till midway through. And I think that just makes it work even further because you're building.
As I say, that's
Right.
just the vision. That's just what makes them that much better than most directors. They just have that vision. They know like when to put in a certain character into a movie that'll make the film just that much better.
It's true, man. Like, I don't care what director it is, right away, in this day and age, we're going to show our best character right off the bat because this movie's not going to work. And that might not even be to the filmmaker's fault. The movie studios, if you got something good, the studios say that has to be throughout your movie, unfortunately. I think not the truth.
I think that's why No Way Home worked that much better. Is like they didn't introduce Toby and Andrew until midway through the movie. They didn't put them, straight away in the beginning.
It's a good point.
They brought them midway through, and that's what made the movie.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Yeah, things like that. It works better when you wait. For
exactly.
It. Granted, they probably didn't want to pay them enough to do the whole movie, but a different story. But you know what I mean. But
fair enough. Yeah.
But I'm saying like,
yeah.
but
but that's the thing is, even though they didn't pay them. Even if that is true that they didn't pay them that much to be in the whole film, they could have put them in the beginning of the film and not have them for the rest of it. But they decided to put them in the last half, which is what made the film that much better.
Yeah, you're right. But, like the thing that you're 100% correct. I'm not going to discredit that point. But something I wanted to bring up, and Jaws really poses this question to me. Movies like Jaws pose this question. Because to the modern film especially, is we get so excited nowadays, and myself included, about things like a Toby and Andrew. But Jaws poses the question of, do you need fan service to make a movie as great as this?
I think
no.
This is where this is where I'll disagree with you.
Looking forward to it. Go ahead, because I want to know another side of it. Because honestly,
that could have worked back then, but nowadays so many people are looking for that fan service that it just doesn't work the same.
Yeah, but why don't we have... I agree. But why don't we have movies that are just that great anymore?
Because they're not going to hit in the box office as well as movies that give us that fan service.
Jaws itself was even based on a book.
But see, again, like I'll bring the point up again. That was back then. Maybe it worked better back then, not having so much fan service.
Oh, I'm not asking. The question I'm asking isn't why the studios don't do it. That's not what I'm trying to ask. I understand the business part of it, and I love Spider-Man No Way Home, so I'm just as guilty as everybody. I guess my question is, where are these movies? Like where are the movies that are also original?
They're just not going to come because I feel like
we have them. I mean, don't even get me wrong, because we do have them. That's even a dumber question on my part, because they're there. They're just made for a lot less money, unfortunately. And that comes back to my point, is that they probably won't get given as big of a budget as the fan service movies, because nowadays that's what everyone is looking for. So they're not going to get as big of a budget as movies that give us all the fan service. I just hope that we all realize that the movies that are really going to hold up over time are the things that are a little bit more stripped down.
See, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
It pains me to say this, but I just don't think we ever will, because
no. Studios won't offer it. It's just
exactly.
It's weird how the audiences have transitioned. That's all I'm saying. It's the audiences that I'm asking more about. It's not the studios so much.
That's the good thing about people like from our generation, is that we still want more of those not so fan service movies. It's just that the people in this generation nowadays don't want that, and so that's why we don't get those movies, because everyone nowadays just want those fan servicey movies. So
and again, we can't blame the studios, because people talk with their wallets. That's what makes money. And again, I like the fan servicey movies. Don't get me wrong. And even back then, you can compare it to a little bit back then. Like the bigger budget movies were always the ones like with your Stallones and Schwarzeneggers. Those are your fan servicey movies from even like the 70s and the 80s. But I'm saying, like, I'm not saying they didn't have it, and to some degree back then. I'm saying the fact that the movies that have held up are always the ones that kind of had the stripped down ideas and the stripped down budgets, like a Jaws or an ET or whatever. But
I feel like that's going to be the opposite nowadays. I feel like the fan servicey movies are the ones that are going to hold up longer
I don't know.
because I feel like because people love more of the fan servicey movies nowadays.
I'll tell you why, but go ahead.
Let me tell you this right now. The reason why non fan servicey movies are holding up as well as they are is because our parents and our grandparents were the ones that watched those movies and are the ones that introduced us into those nowadays.
Well, one more thing too. Pause. One more thing to add to that point, and I know that it's in your mind. You just probably didn't express it, but the other thing I would say to that same point is the filmmakers that are making our superhero movies are inspired by these guys. So anyway, go ahead. So that's helping. It's helping the fan servicey type movies. But anyway, go ahead. Continue. Sorry, I just want to make that point.
And so because our generation nowadays are wanting more of the fan servicey movies, they are going to show their kids, and their kids are going to show their kids all these fan servicey movies. So they're the ones that are going to withhold more in the future than fan servicey movies because of how it works. How like our grandparents showed our parents, and our parents showed us all these like non fan servicey movies that have withheld. But nowadays, because they expect more of those fan servicey movies, they're the ones that are going to withhold longer.
I understand what you're saying now. I think what you're saying is the timeless. We're at the end of the timeless films.
100%.
Like the timeless films that are always just going to be the timeless films with one or two exceptions.
And we're just not going to get those anymore because people are just expecting more of those fan servicey movies. That those are the ones that are going to withhold now for longer periods.
So we're talking Jaws, Close Encounters, E.T., Godfather, Goodfellas, Star Wars.
Jurassic Park, like
those are just always going to be timeless.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad you mentioned it that way. And I hadn't thought of that. But the reason I'm glad you mentioned it that way is because the next point I was going to bring up is, do you think when they're on Marvel movie 50 that everybody's going to want to go all the way back to 50 movies? I don't know.
Yes.
We will, but not everybody.
No. Look, look, I say yes. And the reason why is because...
No, I don't think so, but go ahead. Continue.
You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
I mean... so that's the thing is I don't think we will get to
change my mind.
No, but see now you say that I feel like because I was about to say maybe we won't get to 50 Marvel films, but I feel like we probably will.
We'll get to 50.
But that's so
in the same canon. I mean, maybe we'll get to 50.
Maybe not every single. Excuse me. Maybe not every single person will want.
That was a twofer.
Maybe not every single person will want to go through all 50 if we do get 50.
Not every single person in the world, but anyway, go ahead.
There will be those fans, like diehard fans, that will want to go through. Well, they will tell their kids about. I've seen the original, the very first Marvel film ever made. Is like, and the kids will, they'll grow their kids up with that, and so the kids are gonna want to, because they'll probably become very big fans of it. They'll want to go through all 50 of those movies because their parents were such big fans, and so they are going to raise their kids that way. Just like with me. I mean, my parents weren't Star Wars fans, but I had friends who were huge Star Wars fans, and so obviously there's not 50 Star Wars films, but if we ever do get 30, 40 Star Wars films, whenever I'm a dad, probably not 40 or 30, but we'll get a lot of them. I will raise my kid to be a Star Wars fan and go through all of the Star Wars movies. It's a whole, it's with any franchise. I mean, if we had 50 Lord of the Rings, 50 Harry Potter movies, like the parents are going to make their kids a fan of that, and they're going to want to go through all 50 of those films. So we won't have every single person do that, but there are those certain people who will do that because their parents are such big fans of those.
Yeah, but we're also kind of talking about people that are in our circle of fandom. And you got to realize that, like, the way you're referring to it, I would agree with the people that are in our circle of fandom. But there are still, like, tons of fans. Like, even people that watch, like, Endgame and No Way Home, there are tons of them that haven't seen the entire MCU even till now with 25 of them. So I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, granted... You say some, but there are still those people out there who do go through all 23 of the Marvel films.
Now, granted, and we'll get back to Jaws here in a minute. We're just going to make this part quick. But, because... Like, granted, the one thing I would say is I do think there are movies in the MCU that should be timeless, like an Iron Man, Shang-Chi, the the original Avengers, and like Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever, what have you. There are select films that should be timeless in the MCU, and I hope they are, because I'm not trying to discredit some of the movies.
And I feel like they will, because
those movies maybe.
Even Black Panther, I feel like that one should be
Black Panther. Yes,
exactly.
Sorry.
Like, and that's the thing. I feel like in the future,
Doctor Strange. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like Black Panther will probably be the most liked Marvel film in the future, only because of the fact that we have lost Chadwick Boseman, the Black Panther. So I feel like that one, if any of the Marvel films, that one will probably become the timeless classic, because that's what I don't really like in this day and age with, musicians, actors, artists, all different kinds of famous people, celebrities like that, is that they don't appreciate their art until after they're gone. Which is very sad, but it's the truth.
Again, man,
you look at Da Vinci and all those different painters. Their arts didn't get appreciated until after they're gone. The rappers, the musicians, their songs didn't become as popular until they left. I mean, like, it's sad to say, but it's the truth.
Again, I'm not trying to make this a discredit to like MCU movies, because there are certainly filmmakers that have taken it on, that have taken inspiration from like the Spielbergs and the Scorseses and things of the world, and Lucas's. It's not so much that. I'm just saying that I don't know that all of them earn that right to be timeless, and I don't think they will be. Not all 50 of them by the time we get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think there will be certain ones. That's all I'm trying to say.
And you never know. There could be. Marvel movie number 36 or 45 could become a timeless classic. We just don't know because they're not there yet.
Even I think, like, as much as I'm not a huge fan of Thor Ragnarok, I like it more and more every time I watch it, granted, but like Taika Waititi's movies should be held to that timelessness. All of his movies, honestly.
Dude,
and he's so good.
Look, I know you're indifferent, but I
love him.
I love the hell out of that movie. Thor Ragnarok is one of my favorite Marvel films.
Hey,
honestly,
if I'm being honest, I like it more and more every time I watch it. So that's good credit to that movie. It keeps getting better upon rewatch.
It's funny that he even voices in that movie.
I love his character, by the way.
He's the rock guy, right?
The rock guy.
Yeah.
What's his name? Korg. I love Korg. I love Korg. I have no quarrel with Korg. Korg is one of the best parts of the movie.
And I like Taika Waititi and Free Guy too. That was great.
He's so good. My favorite part, really quick, and we'll get back to Jaws right after we have to. But my favorite part in Free Guy was his "What You Talking About, Willis?" It was so good when he goes, "What you talking about, Willis?" It's his accent that he puts on. Dude,
I loved his Australian accent in the film, and it was hilarious.
So good.
But I was gonna say another thing that I like about another quick thing about Free Guy is what I love about Ryan Reynolds is that I love how he references so many different other movies in it. Like he had the Captain America shield.
Yeah, it was great.
From Star Wars, dude, it was incredible.
Yeah, he does celebrity right, that guy. But anyway, sorry, let's go back to Jaws, because there's points I wanted to make on it. You ever have a hard time like getting the saliva up because you need to swallow and then you can't get the saliva up? That was
all the time, man. I hate it.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
It looks like you're still struggling with that.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm gonna take a drink.
Anyway, so Jaws.
Sorry about that. Jaws it's timeless, but why is this movie timeless to you? Like, honestly, like,
why? I'll tell you, because like, I'll tell the channel right now is I haven't seen this movie in such a long. I've seen it probably twice in my life. The first time I did not like it because
of sharks.
Because of, and not only that, but because of the Jaws ride.
Okay, you were
telling Universal, me which completely scared the hell out of me from that. I think from that point on is when I was scared of. I mean, when I was a little kid, I still went into like the ocean and stuff because I was a little kid, and my dad kind of forced me. But as I got older, I was like, no, I hate the beach, hate the ocean, hate everything that lives in there. There's aliens that live in there, by the way. I'm convinced. But yeah, no. Upon rewatch, I appreciated the movie that much more. What makes it a timeless classic for me is like we said again and again. It's Richard Dreyfuss and those three dudes together, the chemistry together, the roles they play in this film, and the chemistry they have together. What they've done in the film was just incredible, and it's really what I feel like makes it a timeless classic, not only for us and for the generations, you know, before us and the generations to come. It's those scenes with them that makes it a timeless classic, and obviously the soundtrack by John Williams is what's always going to make it a timeless classic because everyone knows that. Dun, 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 dun. Everyone's just going to remember that, like the Jaws movie, at least for that, because you know it's just such a timeless classic soundtrack that John Williams produced that you know everyone just remember, at least you know remembers that from that movie. And that's the thing too, is that you know they've used that soundtrack in other movies too, like for example Shark Tale. I don't know if you've seen that film, I assume.
Yeah, Will Smith. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So there's a scene in the beginning before the movie started with Lenny and his brother when they were swimming around, and the older brother was doing like dun dun dun. So he was basically humming the Jaws soundtrack, and so that's what makes it a timeless classic, is the fact that you know other movies, animated or not, use you know the soundtrack that John Williams produced for that score, and it's what makes it a timeless classic.
Yeah, look, man. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you make great points. You're right. It's it is a horror film. It is. It's about a killer shark. But
it is. But it's also one of those horror films, like I've said before, that doesn't actually scare me. Like for example, Halloween. The Halloween films are scary movies, but they don't scare me. Quiet Place 2 is a scary movie, but doesn't scare me. Jaws is a scary movie, but like it's the category of scary movies that doesn't actually scare me, because the scary movies that scare me are the ones that have those jump scares that come out of nowhere.
But it's that level of suspense. I mean, you look at the scene with the Kittner boy, right? Like everybody. It's true though. Like this kid, you watch him get killed on screen. It's a ballsy move right from the get-go to kill the kid, even for that time. It's a ballsy ass move in a PG movie. But need I remind you, it's a rated PG movie. It's not surprising. I mean, so granted they didn't have PG-13 back then, which maybe it could have gotten away with, but even then, like I feel like this would have been an R right off the bat nowadays. The lost limb, the kid dying, and the gore, the blood spraying everywhere.
So I feel like it would have been an R. I've seen those kind of movies when I was 13. I guess it's different, but
sure, but no, I mean I watched them when I was young. But I'm saying, like, if we're gonna, the MPAA will put an R on that right off the bat right now. You can't get away with some of the shit, and that's part of it.
And so that's the difference too, is that they probably would have made Jaws a lot more gorier than it was back then, which would have definitely gotten an R rated.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I granted, like Quiet Place 2, those are PG, or Quiet Place, both of them are both PG-13. They get away with a lot, but you know my point.
I was gonna say, so Jaws would have gotten a PG-13 for sure, like
at the least. I don't know, because of the kid. The kid is what makes me think it's the R. It's just because it's the kid and the subject matter.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't actually see anything though. You just see him, you know, get sucked into the water, and that's it. You just see blood come out, and that's it.
True. Yeah.
So like, I mean, you could get away with a PG-13 with that.
You could. You could. I'm not saying it wouldn't. I'm just saying I feel like it would have been an R today. But either way, or I feel like they would have just said this is too controversial. Take that part out of the movie. One of the two.
I mean, yeah. Nowadays,
unfortunately,
almost anything can be controversial.
Right.
So yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's a testament to the times too. I think that's part of it, dude. Because like you look at the times, I'm not trying to say we shouldn't have woke movements at all or anything like that. We definitely should.
Woke movements.
Well, we should. I mean, we really should. I mean, I'm being real about that, because
especially in these times.
I think they're important to have, but I also think we need to realize that movies are art at the end of the day, and like this is just part of the art of it.
I mean, look,
right off the bat, when that Kittner kid dies, I'm telling you right now, when that Kittner kid dies, it puts you in a different mood, and you're like, oh my gosh, it puts you on edge for the rest of the movie, because
I'm studying film right now, so I mean, yeah, it's definitely an art. It's definitely something that
this will definitely come up in your film class. I promise. Jaws is definitely going to come up.
In the film class that I'm doing right now, I don't think that it will. In the film class I'm taking right now, probably not.
I think it will.
We're going. I mean, we're only watching like 3 films in the class, and none of them are Jaws.
No, I'm saying it'll come up. This will get brought up.
I don't know. She's from Spain. She probably hasn't seen it.
Jaws, absolutely. If she's a film teacher at all, she's seen Jaws. Trust me, I know there's like a lot of obscure titles that you're going to be watching. I'm not going to doubt that at all.
Bro, I mean, there was one there was one director that almost every single person in the class knew that she didn't know. I can't remember.
Really?
I can't remember for the life of me who it was, but
I'd
I
get
know
in
there
a
was
different
one.
class, but that's a discussion for another time.
There was one. I can't remember for the life of me who it was, but there was one director that was mentioned that she didn't know who it was. I'm
Probably
pretty sure
Tarantino.
it was no. She knew who that was.
Oh, good.
His
Good.
his films are those are timeless classics right there. His films are too
Yeah.
were like worldwide known to not know, but yeah,
That's
there's one person.
Spielberg.
True, but I mean, no, she knew who he was, obviously, and George
Mm.
Lucas. She even knows who John Krasinski is.
I bet it'll come up. I bet it'll come up. I bet it'll.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
I bet it does because it's just it's mentioned in every film school. I mean, I know that because of the way that most teachers that I've heard from people who've been in film school, this movie's are always brought up as a way to build suspense. This movie is always brought up as
So
a way
many
to
so
build
many films
suspense.
can be brought up for suspense nowadays.
Yeah, man. I mean, either way, and you know Krasinski brought this forward in Quiet Place 2. Not that this is a Quiet Place 2 review. I'll tell you why. Because the pizza place they go in the beginning, it's called Brody's Pizza. So there you go.
Officer
Anyway, in the beginning of
Brody.
Quiet Place 2. Anyway, it's so cool. So cool to see the parallels.
Obviously, I didn't think
It's
about
Brody's
that because
Pizza. Brody's
I hadn't
Pizza.
seen the place and I
Yeah.
hadn't seen Jaws in such a long time. That I
It's
didn't
Brody's
even
Pizza. Yep.
pick
There you
that
go.
up. Yeah,
So he
there
picks
you
up
go.
from Spielberg. He takes references. But look, man, you know, and my aunt was correct. There were so many problems behind the scenes. It's not dissimilar to Star Wars. And, you know, something important to bring up here is the fact that you know, the fact that this is during the time era, man. Hollywood was looking, you know, economy was bad. Hollywood was looking for a way, and we're going to get back to this with COVID because of the economy. You watch in a couple of years. Hollywood was looking for filmmakers who were brand new, fresh, hot, and would do films on the cheap. And
Me, I will.
really, and Spielberg and Lucas and Francis Ford Coppola were the guys, right? And
I was about to say because George Lucas's like at least first three films were very cheap
yeah,
budgets.
exactly.
But,
And
I was going to say, but look how
look
much
what they did.
Look how much money they produced from those films, man. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Coppola made Godfather, Spielberg did Jaws, Lucas did Star Wars. Those are three timeless classics, and you can't.
And they all made money from those movies, like
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, I mean, amongst with a couple other filmmakers. I mean, you're right. Yeah, it's just like you know, and Spielberg obviously, and Lucas. I'm sorry, Lucas. Ushered in the great Ron Howard, and yeah,
that's the thing is
amazing.
the fact that they were able to make that much money, having that low of a budget, is just that much more like insane and crazy. The fact that they're just that talented, they were able to make that much money with such a low budget.
But going back to the film discussion, you look at this movie and you understand why. You know, you do. It's true.
Exactly. It's because they're timeless classics.
You understand it the second you watch this movie. You're like, if anybody even like who's watching this for whatever reason, just maybe curious to try to get motivated to watch this finally, hasn't seen this movie, go watch it. You'll know why. I promise you, the second you put this thing on, you're going to know this is why it works. This is why everybody's talking about it. You know, it might be old as fucking dirt to you if you're a youngin. It's true. It might be. It's true, old as dirt to me, but it's
I was going to say
great.
It's old as dirt to me too. I'm younger than you.
But it doesn't feel it. It doesn't. You watch it, it's like I'm in, man. I'm invested. These characters are great. These guys are still relatable to today. What's
True.
up?
No, I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Well, look, man. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep stalling, but look, man. He's gonna go use the bathroom. And yeah, dude. Yeah, guys. I mean, this is one of those timeless classics that I love so much, and it's just so undeniable my love for this movie, and it is again. We go back to these characters. We go back to Brody. We go back to Matt Hooper. We go back to Quint. I mean, these are the guys that just made the film work, man. Along with Spielberg's directing, the way he directs suspense, John Williams' score. I don't know how else to put it. You know, you just look at these iconic moments. You look at a moment like you're going to need a bigger boat. Who doesn't know that line nowadays? Everybody knows the line, you're going to need a bigger boat. it works, man. It works. And yeah, that's Roy Scheider delivering that wonderful, wonderful line. There's even, something to just the delivery of the lines too, and it's the actors. It's the actors. You go back to the actors. The actors work for it. The actors are just so present in the film. You know what I mean? They're so present in this movie, and it's just part of what makes it as well. Um, you love it. You know what I mean? There's no denying that there's something
Back.
to the love of it. Oh, okay, thank you. Because I was trying to stall and I wasn't sure how to, and I'm glad you're back. Look, man, the other thing I want to bring up, and we go into Spielberg's great directing here, the settings. The settings in this movie just breathe summertime.
I mean, it's
And
I mean it's the fourth. It's the 4th of July.
it's something
It's
great that
summer.
he did. Yeah,
Like it's just that setting where it's like, yeah, people are going to this city that's known for its beach and it's summertime, and it just exudes, summertime vibes. And
I'm gonna
and
place a bet
chilling
right
by the
now. Not
beach.
even a bet. It's just a fact. I'm gonna make a prediction right now. Summertime comes around, you're gonna put Jaws on because
Me.
because you're gonna feel it. You're gonna get out there in the nice summer
Well,
air. And you're gonna be
at
like, this
least
reminds me of Jaws.
maybe. I mean, I'm not gonna be here for the summer.
Well, you know what I mean.
At least for most of it, or maybe some of it. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to see, because I'm trying to, off topic, but I'm trying to plan a summer trip with my high school friends, like as a reunion to
Right.
Florida. So maybe we do. I don't know. I have some of those friends in my group haven't seen Jaws, so maybe I'll pop it in for them, and we'll revisit it. Or I'll revisit it and they'll watch it for the first time, and
Yeah.
who knows? I'll get them to like it.
Summer will come around, you'll think of Jaws. I bet you. Because it does. It has the nice summer vibes.
Bro, I'll be walking on the beach and I'll be thinking of Jaws and be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out.
I'm going home.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. No, I'll just go to the club.
You're gonna think of Jaws. At some point, you'll put it back on, and I'm
It might
making a
be- and it
prediction
might
right
be-
now.
It might be for the wrong reasons that it
Maybe.
reminds me that it remind me that I hate the ocean and the beach and
Maybe.
everything that lives in it, and I just want to fuck off from there. But either way, it'll remind I'll think of Jaws.
All I know is I was at my sister's a couple summers ago. I walked outside and I felt the summer air hit me, and I was like, I want to put on Jaws right now. They it was cool because they had a little bit of a fire going outside still. It was dead at night, and I was like, I'm gonna put on Jaws. And yeah, I did. Yeah, because it gave me the right vibe at the moment that I needed it to. Kind of the same for going to the drive-in theater too. Like Jaws just worked in that setting so well, because it's summertime and yeah, man, it just works. But Spielberg just did great with the setting. I mean, I look at the night shots in this movie. The shots are just awesome. I mean, the night shots on the boat and just everything about it, man, it just works so well. You know what I mean? Just so great.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, yeah.
You're right,
100%.
man. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss, the highlight. I mean,
100%.
yeah,
100%.
going back to it, he brings a whole new life into it, and I'm excited transitioning to talk about the next movie with you from Spielberg, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is the movie he did right after. Very smart in casting Dreyfuss in the lead for that, and which just made so much sense. And we were talking about it too. Spielberg was smart enough to make the horror films
Oh yeah,
based around the things that are
I was gonna say, yeah.
realistic.
I was asking, how this man just sit down and it just came to his mind. Is like, you know what? I'm gonna make a film about sharks. I'm gonna make a film about aliens. And I'm gonna make a film about dinosaurs. He just sat there and was like, you know what? Yeah, this is good. I'm gonna do this. Like, I mean, even crazier is George Lucas sitting there and be like, you know what? I'm gonna make a movie about space samurai motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
It's like, how do you like, they're just, their minds are, especially George Lucas's, because obviously, I mean, Spielberg, he made movies about aliens, like monsters that exist now, but George Lucas's is even more impressive. He just sat there, he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make a movie about some space samurai motherfuckers who fight with these lightsabers, and I'm gonna make these stormtroopers. I'm gonna make Wookiees. Like he came up with all this stuff off the top of his head. It's like it's just so impressive to think that these guys can just come
Yeah.
up with these things off the top of their head, man. It's
Yeah.
it's impressive. It's what makes it's literally what makes them the best.
Yeah, man, and so I'm so excited to go into the next one with you, seeing as how Spielberg tackled aliens next, and I know Close Encounters is the one you haven't seen yet of the
No,
classics,
I
and
haven't. No.
so you being the sci-fi guy, I think honestly, I'm gonna make a prediction. You personally are gonna be obsessed with Close Encounters,
All right,
because of the way
I
you like his approach with a shark, which is something you're not interested in necessarily. If you like his approach with the shark, you're gonna love his approach with aliens.
I'm not
And
too
I'm
sure
excited.
if I'm not too sure if I enjoyed his approach with sharks because I just don't like sharks.
Yeah.
That'll probably be my lead. I mean,
I'm saying you
like
like
that,
the movie with it revolved around a shark in a way. You know what I mean?
and I mean the reason why I liked it is because of
Characters.
the three characters,
Yeah.
the three main characters that were
Look,
in
man,
most of this film.
Close Encounters, to tease the next discussion, it's a movie revolved around aliens, and it stars Richard Dreyfuss. He's as the lead. I mean, come on, where can you go wrong?
What more could you ask for, honestly?
100%. And I know you're the sci-fi guy. Aliens are your shit. It's my shit
Look,
too, honestly.
Look, I mean, not necessarily aliens, but sci-fi in general is just my thing. Like
Yeah.
I'm
That's
all
what I
about
mean.
like
Sorry about
like sci-fi is probably is no sci-fi is my favorite genre of all. Like sci-fi movies, sci-fi books, just sci-fi everything. Sci-fi me up, man. It was the very first ever genre that I watched for movies. Obviously, with Star Wars.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like honestly, sci-fi, like E.T.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything sci-fi, even a little bit of Harry Potter. Like
Yeah.
it's just all like it's just what I grew up with and is what I just love so much. And I
Yeah.
love talking about it and reading about it, watching about it.
I
Like
mean,
it's
yeah, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, man. I mean, it's the sci-fi-est sci-fi movie. Star Trek fans fuck with me, but it really is because, like, while George did a phenomenal job with Star Wars, it dips into the fantasy a little bit more. But with Close Encounters, you got a lot more of the sci-fi than the fantasy of it. Although the vibe of Jaws is still present in this one with the characters, and so
yeah,
I'm so
especially
excited
Richard
to get into that
Dreyfuss,
with you.
man.
Oh my god, dude, how he quit leading movies blows my mind. How he quit getting hired for shit blows my mind. Because you
Age.
watch Close Encounters, you're like, that guy he continuously improves
I
upon
mean,
himself.
I guess age is one factor.
Yeah, I
You're always
guess,
looking
man.
for younger roles because
Yeah, but he
I mean,
still should have been bigger.
maybe not for lead roles, but I mean, I mean, just appearing in movies, being like supporting actor, or like
Yeah,
being in a couple scenes. I mean, I can see. I don't know why he didn't do that, but a lead role at the age that he is, it would have to be a very specific movie for
yeah,
him to be a lead role
yeah.
in
One
it.
other thing I want to mention about Jaws before we take off here, the endearing moments of it, because and I'm talking about the drama in general. Because, I mean, even just in sweet moments. Because look at the moment between Roy Scheider and his son, where he's mocking Roy Scheider, and you're feeling that adorable moment there,
Right.
when the son is just mocking him. And part of it's John Williams' score, but just to think about
And he's
Spielberg.
like,
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing.
it's incredible.
Spielberg thought, I'm going to put this in my horror film. Brilliant. Make your characters relatable, and it's incredible. And just I don't know that there's anything else we could say that hasn't already been said. But, honestly, this movie is one that I was so thrilled to watch with you tonight, sir. And it is, again, it goes back to the characters and the male camaraderie. It's the same feeling I get when I watch Star Wars with you, because it's there, something we
I
just don't
honestly,
have anymore.
I was just saying, I'm super glad that I watched this movie with you because, we're just like we're the same. We gel well together. We have so much. We're literally alike. We like the same kind of movies, and I know anything you introduce me to, I will enjoy because we're just that much in the same. So
That's a freaking
um,
movie.
I'm glad that we got to rewatch this. Well, me especially rewatch this movie with you because it was a lot of fun.
Absolutely, man. So thank you so much for your time and watching the
Of
movie
course,
with me
anytime.
and having the
course.
discussion as I think this movie warrants. I don't think you can come off this movie with anybody and just not have a discussion about it. You know,
I
it's
mean,
just,
look, this movie is just such a timeless classic that it deserves it.
yeah.
Honestly,
Whether it be the characters, the suspense built with the shark. One more thing, real quick, before we go: the underwater shots, stunning. I mean, just so good. So well done, and just yeah, I mean everything about this is just so timeless and great. Look, guys, that's Jaws. If you haven't seen it and you watch this discussion, I hope you're motivated to go watch it finally. And just even if you've heard all the spoilers, I mean, come on, go watch it, and it just works. It just works.
and if you've you know if you have seen this movie and you just watched this, leave your thoughts in the comments. Tell us your opinions, what you guys thought of it. If you haven't seen the movie, hopefully you clicked off and went to go watch the movie. And if you have, again, leave your thoughts in the comments, what you guys thought. If you guys agreed with what we said, if you disagreed, let us know what you disagreed about. What you agreed about, just let us know in the comments, guys, because we greatly appreciate your guys' interaction, because that's the reason why we do this, is to interact, not only talk us two, obviously, because we're such great friends and we love doing this, but also because we want to hear your guys' opinions to improve this channel and this podcast with your guys' opinions and your thoughts.
Couldn't have said it better myself, my guy. And this is the reason we do this. Is it's so good to go back to classics finally and just kind of talk about those for a bit. You know, it's the reason I feel like I'm into movies in the first place. But
Oh,
hey,
same.
man, yeah, look, man. I mean, thank you so much for your time again. Where can people find you
course.
before we go?
You can find me on all socials at Type One Latino, all lowercase, all underscore, or all together. Sorry.
Absolutely, man. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped for this discussion. I really can't wait till people see it. I think it's gonna be a good
Same,
one.
honestly, same.
This
Yeah.
is one of my favorites, for
Especially
sure.
the calling in to friends and getting their opinions. I think that'll
Yeah.
change this podcast a lot. I think we should probably do it more often
Yeah,
too,
we got
honestly.
outside perspective from some casuals who
Exactly.
aren't necessarily in our circle, a couple that are, but still, we tried. Look, guys, honestly, thank you so much for joining. You can find me on Twitter at Dom_Martino_ and on Instagram, Dom_Martino_ official. And please go follow the Anorex pages, Anorex official, across all platforms, Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you do that for sure. And also, please go follow us on Spotify. Spotify is great for those of you who can't just pull up the video all the time. Maybe you're in the car. It's just easier for you to pull up the audio. You're saving a little bit of battery by not having the video on the phone. Try that. It's really great for that. And we don't have
Yes.
ads or anything, so that's nice.
I was gonna say it's also good for the people who I don't know if you're taking a road trip somewhere that's a long drive and you don't like listening to music necessarily, or you get bored of listening to music, you want to pop in a podcast, or you like listening to podcasts on the road trip.
Yeah.
Just pop that in while you're driving somewhere, and it's a good way to distract yourself while driving.
That's a great point.
Especially if you like listening and discussing about the kind of stuff that we talk about here on this channel, then it's a good way to have a distraction while you're driving and listen to the kind of stuff that you listen to us discuss about the kinds of stuff that you guys like, as well as us.
Yeah, even if you're not in there for this episode in particular, go back and listen to a past one, whatever you got to do. But I appreciate everybody's time anyway, so thank you so much. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications. Please do so. We'll be back here with another classic. The next classic we should be talking about, I would believe, we'll see, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. We're definitely in a Spielberg-y mood, I think, at this point, so we'll see what happens. But thank you guys so much anyway. I've been Don Martino. That's been Jose Espinel, and we'll see you guys later. Good night.
See you.